What up, world? Okay, so I have decided to come up on here um just to specify exactly what I want this channel to be about. I was looking at my old videos and seeing how much pain my vessel holds, and I basically want to record my thoughts, feelings, and just where I am in this moment. I have to be completely honest. I have been working with a lot of different modalities to heal. And some are more conventional than others, and some are more on the spiritual side of healing. Right now, today is Monday, November 18th, 2019, 11:17 a.m. I'm going to make sure I do that every time because that's just how I need to record what's going on. So let me tell you a little bit about me. I am a sickle cell warrior. I am 39 years old. I have had multiple health scares, near-death experiences. I've also experienced the spiritual side of those things as I've seen things that would not be typical, and I've shared this with my old pastor and things like that, but I was never comfortable talking about it out in the open because for fear of sounding crazy, basically. I've had 2 kidney transplants. I've had many spiritual experiences that are, as I'm, looking at other people's experiences and other people's videos, are quite common. And now that we're actually in this information age where anyone can go ahead and just jump on and talk about things, it's making me more comfortable talking about some of the things I've experienced. I'm attempting to shift a lot of heavy energy that I find within my own body, within my own family line, and I've decided just to record some of these things. And being honest about where I am and not letting fear or guilt or shame affect me so deeply as it has. With my life with sickle cell anemia and having a lot of very painful episodes to the point now that it is chronic, it's forced me to find different ways of healing. And for me, that is taking out meat, taking out fish, taking out anything that can cause inflammation in my body since it's already greatly inflamed. I mean, that is what your body is telling you when you're in pain, that there's inflammation going on, blockages, energetic blockages. I actually have been researching Reiki and am using anything and everything I can to keep myself going. I have memory issues, significant memory issues. I am working through that. It's not very easy to, well, in my life, it has not been easy to maintain a 9 to 5, a regular job, even going to school. My health has affected all parts of my life. And this year has been very revealing. So I'm going to talk about this stuff. And if the tears come, they come. It's just where I am emotionally at this moment. But I have ended a 20-year relationship. And it's not easy to talk about because I've known this person my whole adult life. And I've felt like I've known him before this reincarnation. Many times before. And that was actually something that was verified through muscle testing myself, because your body knows better than you do most of the time. And it's the whole thing right now is in my life I'm seeking alignment, and this year has shown that it doesn't matter how much pain and punishment we put ourselves through, the light will always shine. And for me, realizing this year that the best work that I could ever do is to heal myself. And even though I've known this soul for so long, I had to cut the ties, energetically cut cords, because it was very toxic for many years. But I really couldn't see how bad it was because I was going through my own health issues. But as I'm physically getting stronger, I could see how I was mentally and emotionally, and how I've become very resentful and angry, and I had to really deeply look into why. And I don't want to stand or sit here and go through the details and the minutia of what happened with us. I just know that for me, I had to save myself. I'm no way innocent, but I'm also not willing to sit in disrespect and continue the significant roller coaster spirals. So I'm healing a lot. My heart literally has been feeling broken, and it's affected how I've trusted myself. It's affected a lot of things. But once I could see that me moving on into wanting to heal my body, wanting to repair my life because of the health scares and experiencing panic attacks this year, and anxiety that's been very scary. And this is something that I've read about. I studied psychology. That was I got my BA in. I was working towards my master's. Originally, it was for marriage and family counseling, but I had too many health issues, and I ran out of time. So I was going for psychology. But then I started having, it was more in my face, the deep depression and not being able to handle basic things like getting up and taking a shower. And I'm making this channel to just talk about these things because it's necessary, especially for those of us in the sickle cell world, those of us as sickle cell warriors. Sickle cell is a disease, a blood disorder that greatly affects our red blood cells. Our red blood cells are like this, but then they shift into a sickle shape, or like a moon crescent shape. They get hard, sticky, they get stuck in our blood vessels, and it creates immense pain. It's like bone-breaking pain, and there's very little relief. Now, the doctors and what they really have for us right now when it comes to maintaining or relieving pain is to put us on high levels of pain medication, which also has their own side effects. And that's what I live with day to day when it comes to GI issues, memory issues, and still pain. It's a lot that happens in one life. And now that I'm coming to terms with how I can move the conversation forward, I'm thinking a lot about the mental health side of what happens with some of us with sickle cell. I know for me, I have had a chip on my shoulder. I've been angry. I've been frustrated beyond belief. I've isolated myself for many years, and I'm also dealing with PTSD, which would be, I guess for people, it's easy for people to like understand it when it comes to maybe someone who's coming back from war. They've seen things, they've experienced things that have affected their soul. And sickle cell is a war within yourself. And yeah, I'm like attempting not to tear up and turn it into that kind of thing, but I've fought my whole life. I fought to stay alive. I've attempted to just carve out some sort of normalcy, and have been very hard on myself in the process. I come from a family of high expectations, and a family that is productive and loving, and at the same time, education was always, the thing. Like, I come from a Nigerian family, and education was very high priority. Now, as someone who achieved a bachelor's while going through multiple health scares, while going through transfusions once a month, still doing that, I haven't really gave myself a break. I've seen many of my many of the times of going into the hospital as a failure, basically. I put a lot of expectation on my own self to charge forward no matter what, and this year has shown me that that's just not my pace, especially when it comes to having to slow down to this point of basically stopping and dealing with the mental health side of it, the issues. I'm just going to keep it there. I'm not going to go into the relationship too much right now because it's still very, very raw, and not completely, like, I still don't have a good grasp on what I've been dealing with, what we've been dealing with. But I will, on this channel, talk about diet, exercise. For me, because my I can't do high intensity workouts because it'll just put me right into an extreme amount of pain. Like, even now I'm talking, there's a lot of pain going on, but that is my norm, and I'm attempting to share what I go through, mainly because doing it alone, doing it in no, not doing it alone, because I have a loving family that's there, but when it comes to just being able to be honest about how life is and working the stuff out, because it's not easy. There are many people with sickle cell who have kids, who work, and that is something that I've always strived for, but have also gotten knocked down so many times that it's been really a harrowing experience. So right now, my day-to-day is basically writing, reading. I actually like to, I'm in love with the world of crystals and metaphysics, and yeah, so I'm gonna do more of these heart to hearts, and hopefully you can join me on the journey, and if not, then this is just a video to say peace. I am here. Deuces.